evening. Good evening, and welcome to the California Art Council's 40th anniversary celebration here at the Crest Theatre in Sacramento. It's wonderful to be here with all of you. It's a great evening, and we really appreciate you being here with us to celebrate this great night. I'm here really to say thank you, because I grew up in California and I went to public school from second grade through graduating from college, and I benefited so much from my own personal experience with my arts education that it's an honor for me because I get to say thank you. I want to thank my 9th grade English teacher, Mrs. McLaughlin, who took me to the Old Globe Theater in San Diego. I grew up in San Diego, and I hadn't been to a play before. And she took us to see a Shakespeare play. And there was something that happened in the theater to me that day that sort of changed my life. And I think, like many of you here, it's sometimes difficult to really describe exactly what that kind of moment is, except I remember the actors, and I remember how they sweated, and I remember their spit, and I remember their passion, and I was struck. I was transported in some way. And even though I didn't quite understand everything they were saying, I knew what they meant. And so for me, this was a transformative moment. And I think probably each of us here tonight has had some taste of that kind of moment, whether it's with a poem or a piece of music or a dance or a painting or a something where we have that experience where the discriminating mind and the intellect recedes. It's quiet, and inside the heart rises. And that's what we're talking about tonight. We're talking about that experience and trying to cultivate that experience in our culture for everybody. My high school drama teacher, Ann Krill, who I still stay in touch with, my 2 community college teachers, Art Knoll and Woody Woodruff, who taught at Mesa College, and I graduated from San Francisco State. I mean, all of these people, for me, they really led the way because I really hadn't been exposed to any of this before that. So in a way, this rescued me. It continues to rescue me in my life, this creative process. So for me, it became my work, but it's deeply a part of all aspects of my life. I was appointed to the Arts Council in 2004 by Senator John Burton, thank you, John, who was then President Pro Tem of the Senate. But you know what happened? I found out there was actually almost no money in the budget. I think it was $1 million for the entire state of California at that point. And I went to John and I said, John, it's really funny. You appointed me to this Arts Council, but there's actually no money there. Were you aware of that? I mean, did you? And he said, he's really tough. And that was a very difficult budget time. And he said, well, Annette, there's no money. So we spent a lot of time talking about how to articulate why arts are important, why arts education is important. And so we've come here to celebrate the arts, to honor the countless ways in which creative expression enriches our lives as Californians, whether through community transformation, social prosperity, cultural exchange, or individual discovery, or lifelong learning for all generations. And we've come here together to consider a question: why should government support the arts? How can we explain non-material forces by using material means? Of course, it's the government's role to serve its citizens, as the film just illustrated. California Arts Council surely does that, but there is a larger purpose to public support of the arts, which is why, for as long as mankind has had governments, governments have supported the arts. Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about beauty. Without the paintings and the sculpture and the architectural marvels and every art form from pottery to poetry, what would we know today about ancient Egypt or Greece or Rome or Babylon? The list goes on and on. Art is the signature of a civilization. It's our imagination expressed in art that lifts us out of our everyday routine, connects us to our true selves, elevates us, while simultaneously seeing the larger world, like in the drum show that we just saw. And I believe that young people deserve to experience the transformative benefits of arts education, as I did. The California Arts Council is a special agency. From its beginnings in 1976 to today, the Arts Council has demonstrated why government support of the arts is so important. Public support is what brings the arts with all their power to heal and inspire to rural communities, towns large and small, blighted neighborhoods, struggling schools, prisons, hospitals, and everywhere the arts can make a difference, from Skid Row to Symphony Hall. The arts are an invaluable policy asset and prosperity generator for California. The creativity of our state sets us apart and gives California a special place in people's imaginations. Through the years, the work of the California Arts Council has demonstrated that beyond the arts' somewhat intangible, inherent value to society, and beyond their value as the signature of who we are, the arts help the state succeed through economic growth, education, tourism, health, and public safety.